Hello and welcome back to another video. I have today just received my first order from Colourpop, so I thought I would unbox it with you all. So, it's very exciting. I've never ordered from Colourpop before, as they're in America, and I live in the UK. It's just not something that I've done, but you'll see why I did when I open it up. Yeah, I've just scribbled out some stuff. So, you see Colourpop. So I ordered it on the 29th of October and it's arrived on the 10th of November. So I'm actually really impressed that it's a week and a half. I was disheartened because it took so long for Colourpop to actually dispatch it. I don't know what it's like in America, but here in England everything tends to get dispatched the day after, whereas it took a good 5 days, 6 days to dispatch from Colourpop, but then it's come really quickly, so I can't complain. I thought it was going to take a lot longer than that. So let's get into it. So I'm going to save this for last. You might be able to tell through there what it is. I've got some single shadows, so I've got 5 single shadows. I know, which one was it? Oh, this one, which is, oh yeah, Laguana. I threw in at the last minute because I had put in a lip liner and it went out of stock. I threw that in just to get me over the postage. I've got, that's cute, I might stick that up. And then I've got this. So that's everything from the box. So this is the first thing. It's a magnetic palette. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be. Just for comparison, I got this one off Amazon and I thought this was going to be bigger than this. I can't remember how many shadows they each say they hold, but that's my mistake. I threw this in because I thought it could hold lots of shadows. I don't think it's going to be holding that many, so that's a bit disappointing, but I'll still use it. Then this is the Tuck Me In palette. This is really cute. I like this packaging a lot. And they are gorgeous. Some of their loose shadows in a pre-made palette. I actually really like this. I'm really happy with it. I think it's great value. This palette is gorgeous. Little £9 palette, which £9 is my perfect eyeshadow palette size. So I'm going to be probably putting these in here and then using this to create my own little palettes. Right, so these are all the shadows that I picked up. So this first shadow, I'm going to actually open this so I can put them in here. And now for the thing that made me finally do my Colourpop order. I'm very excited for this. It is the Child palette. Packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I'm definitely going to be keeping this. For anyone comments, I have watched the first couple with my boyfriend. I'm not going to lie, I was not really listening as much as just watching how cute Baby Yoda was. But I feel like that justifies me buying it. And the real reason I actually bought it is I wanted a green eyeshadow palette, and then when they came out with this, it was perfect. So, this is what it looks like inside. They are the same size, which is good. They'll look very cute together. Actually, the colour schemes, mint green and baby pink, go very well together. So they're going to look very cute on my shelf. I think they're going to get the front spot together. Just give you a real up close look. I'm a bit not impressed with how shattered some of the edges of these shadows are. I'm sure yeah, it will just go away, but that's not very impressive to me. I've never had a shadow arrive slightly cracking at the edges. So I know that custom and duties was £9.99. So to get all this into the UK, paid for customs, I made sure that I spent $70. It was £61.29. So they are the swatches. This one is Laguana. This one is So Good. This one is Carrot Cake. This one is Heavenly, and then this one is Glass Ball. I think these are absolutely gorgeous shimmers. This can be a perfect transition shade that I'm already seeing that although this is a more pink rose gold shade, I think that when the transition with that just all over the lid would look gorgeous and brings out the more warm tones in it. This is a gorgeous shadow. It is a very true yellow gold. And Glass Ball is gorgeous. I can see why it's got all the hype it does. Next I'm going to be swatching the Tuck Me In palette bundle. I don't know what to call it because it is a palette. These are the swatches up and close. So I'll go through what each of them are. So this top shade is Ringer. This next shade is What's Your Yo Sign. It is a matte with golden shimmers in it, which doesn't really sharpen the swatch. It reminds me of the sequin row in the Tati Beauty palette. The next shade is Wake Up Cool, which is a good transition shade. The next shade is Get Cracking Matte. I'm intrigued they've called it a matte because there is shimmers in there. It's again like the Tati Beauty sequin shade. Glitter called Conga. De Coco Metallic is the next shade. This is a gorgeous brown. Next is another glitter called Set Sail, and it's a darker shimmer compared to the earlier one. Then we've got this very warm brown called Top Notch. And finally we've got Mission Matte. That sticker is not stuck on properly. I'm going to see if I can do that. And again, it's kind of like the Tati Beauty sequin formula. So these are all of the swatches. Now I will swatch the Child palette. So these are the swatches up close. This final shade is a matte shade. I think I had still some of this shimmer left on my finger, so I'm sorry for that. And also I've just got glitter more up this end of my arm from. This is gorgeous. I don't think the swatches that they did really give it justice at all. Hold them up next to each other. This shade is Precious Child. The next shade is Right Hand Mando. The next shade is Just Like a Tatooine. Then the next shade is Sipping Soup, which is very appropriate. Then the next shade is Babyface. The Force, Little Frog, and I'd say that is definitely a frog green. Float Your Crib, which is definitely again very appropriate. And Drop Protocol. I think they've come up with some great names for this palette. I especially like Float Your Crib as a name, and Sipping Soup, as they are definitely related to the Mandalorian series. Just before I end this video, I want to make some comparisons between the formulation of these with the Tati Beauty palette. This shade, which is What's Your Sign, and it's a cream with a gold reflect. In this palette, this is a cream with a pink reflect. So they are different actually, but the formulation is similar. But as you can see, that has got a lot more glitter in it. They aren't quite the same undertone, but you can see, although I've got glitter on my arm, the Tatty Beauty Sequin Formula does have a lot more shimmer in it. So I don't actually know how useful having shimmers in this is, because even with the Tatty Beauty formulation, unless you tap it onto your eyelid and don't blend it at all, you can't see it. They blend away. So if this is as strong as it gets, I'm not quite sure why they've added in the glitter. The other shade, this is a brown with more of a blue silver shift in it. So let's swatch these two against each other. So first, the Tatty Beauty shade. Yeah, look at that, that's gorgeous. I'll see that one has a lot more shimmer in it. And you can actually see they are very different. This is a warm brown with more golden reflex in it, and this is a cool brown with more blue reflex in it. And I'd say this one, although it has more shimmer, still isn't quite as shimmery as the Tatty Beauty ones. But this one definitely is not quite as shimmery as the rest of them. Let me just really give it a good rubbing. Even on a finger swatch, you can't really see the shimmers. I'll swatch it again down here. It's just not as shimmery even as this other Colourpop one. I'd say that if you wanted to dupe the Tatty Beauty Sequin Formula, these Colourpop mattes with glimmer particles in are the same, just I think shade from shade it's going to vary as to how close it is, and obviously they aren't exact colour matches at all. I'm more talking about the formulation, as when Tatty came out with this, she did say that this row was very unique. The final thing I wanted to talk about with these two is the glitter formulation. So again, Tatty Beauty first, and next Colourpop. So as you can see, I did one finger swatch for each, and as you can see, this one, the Tatty Beauty one, swatched over more opaque, but obviously you can use glitter glue. I say the Tatty Beauty formula feels like it's in more of a silicone-y base compared to the Colourpop one. The Colourpop one feels more dry, although it's really not that close. Actually, I think that might be even a closer match for this shade. So even though they're both very different, I think that the Tatty Beauty shade, they are both closest to is the same. That is a rubbish swatch. Yeah, I'd say that one is closer. Oh, they look very close, in fact. They look almost identical. The Colourpop one is more dry, but I'd say that it's a colour match dupe. 100%. The shine is the complete exact same, and the undertone is the complete exact same. I think if you use this with a glitter glue, it would perform just as well as this. So that is the glitter in Set Sail, and it is a dupe for the Soothe glitter in the Tatty Beauty palette. So that is interesting. So that's all the comparisons I wanted to make. Right, so this is everything I've got and gone through from my Colourpop order. So the Baby Yoda palette was $16. The individual shadows in here were $4.50 each. This palette was $15, which I think, considering the Colourpop, the Baby Yoda palette was £16, I think that this is great value for a £9 magnetic palette and 9 single shades. And then this empty magnetic palette was $10. So that is everything I've got. I think that they are all great. I'm yet to try them out. This was just my first impressions. I definitely think that everything is priced really nicely. Like, if this was bought out by a higher end brand, it would be so much more than $16. There is a really gorgeous duochrome shade that I was waiting to be in stock before I made any single eyeshadow purchases. I think it's called Wishful. I'll put a screenshot of it on on the screen, and I think that the Baby Yoda palette was kind of like that shadow in a palette, so that made me make the purchase. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you have anything to say, please comment down below. And if you want to see more from me, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much.